Welcome to Inner Motion, a place for the silent, the focused, the ones who move without asking for permission. This is where the loud world stops and the quiet war begins, where you learn to master yourself before mastering the game. If you're not here to impress, but to evolve your home. In every room, there's always one. They don't speak much. They don't perform for attention. They just watch, and somehow they always win while others shout, overshare, and compete for relevance. The quiet ones calculate, they absorb, they wait, and win. They move, it's already too late for everyone else. You've been told to speak up, to express yourself, to be loud, bold, and visible. But the truth, visibility isn't power, it's exposure, and exposure without discipline is self-destruction. Ones tell you everything, their plans, their fears, their next move. They think it makes them look strong. It doesn't. It makes them predictable. Predictable people are easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to beat. The quiet one doesn't need to prove anything because true power is silent. It's not empty, it's loaded. While the room talks, they study. While others explain, they observe. While the insecure fills silence with noise, the quiet one lets the silence do the work. You think silence is passive. It's not. It's pressure. It's presence. It's psychological warfare. Quiet win with three weapons: information, control. They reveal nothing. They speak second. They listen first. And in doing so, they learn everything. Because when people talk too much, they tell you exactly how to beat them. Mystique. They're unreadable. They don't overshare. They don't explain. And when people can't read you, they project, they assume. They fill in the blanks with fear, with doubt, with fantasy. How the quiet ones gain power. They let others invent a version of them that's more dangerous than they actually are. Emotional control. They don't react. They pause. They breathe through tension. Because silence isn't just control over others. It's control over self while everyone else leaks their emotions through every word. The quiet one remains composed, and in that restraint is strength and negotiation. The silent one has the advantage. Why? Because they don't rush to fill space. They wait, and in that wait, the other side crumbles, panics, reveals in leadership. The quiet one earns respect. Not through constant words, but through rare ones. When they speak, people listen. Because they know every word has weight in life. The quiet one wins not because they hide, but because they choose not to bleed for attention. They guard their energy, they protect their vision. And that focus turns into domination. We live in a culture obsessed with expression, but those who win, the ones who truly lead, aren't performing for anyone. They're not trying to be understood. They're trying to understand. They don't chase attention. They command. If their silence isn't shyness, it's strategy, it's presence, it's power, in its purest form. So ask yourself, do you speak just to be heard? Do you explain too much just to feel safe? Do you fill silence because you can't handle the weight of it? Or do you hold your ground? Do you let silence speak for you? Do you wait not out of fear, but because you know power moves second? Quiet ones win, not because they're silent, but because their silence is louder than everyone else's noises. Is inner motion still focused, relentless now? Go move without making a sound. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The one who says less loses less. The one who speaks first reveals the most. The one who waits wins. It's not about muting your voice forever. It's about knowing when it must be heard and when it must not. The loud speak to validate themselves. The quiet speak to change direction. Every word you give away gives someone a chance to counter it. So when you speak, make it final, make it clear, make it a blade lit. Others fear your silence because silence makes them guess, and when they guess, they reveal themselves. The ones who win don't need to be loud. They just need to be lethal. Silence is your edge in a world that's lost its mind to noise. It's your edge in conflict, in business, in love. It's not weakness. To wait, it's power, and it's power that speaks last. You don't need validation, you need vision. You don't need likes, you need leverage. You don't need to be seen, you need to be calculated. The quiet ones always win, not sometimes, always, because in a world of noise, they become the signal, the rare frequency that pierces the chaos. They know when to disappear, when to show up, when to speak, and when to let silence cut deeper than words ever could. You are not here to impress, you are here to impose. You are not here to react, you are here to decide. You are not here to explain, you are here to execute. The loud are reactive. The quiet are precise. That's why the loud get attention, but the quiet ones get results. Let others waste energy making noise. You're conserving yours to strike when it counts. Your war, not behind your loading. You're not quiet, you're calculating. You're not missing, you're becoming. Quiet doesn't mean passive. It means ready, it means aware, it means they need to announce what's coming. Just make sure it hits harder than anything they expected. Hold the frame, keep your power, let your silence speak, let your actions scream. And when it's time, let them feel the weight of everything you never see. World underestimates quiet people because they don't understand them. They label them as shy, weak, soft-spoken, disconnected. But it's not softness, it's sharpness, held back. It's a weapon kept in its sheath until the time is right. The loud want to be liked, the quiet want to be effective, the loud want to be included, the quiet want to be irreplaceable. They study before they strike. They listen before they speak, they think before they commit, they win before anyone knows they were even. Plain silence gives them clarity, focus, direction. They don't need motivation. They have purpose, and that purpose does not require applause. It requires action. You'll never see them chasing popularity. You'll see them building leverage, stacking, wins, multiplying pressure, becoming the presence in the room you can't ignore. Not because they demand it, but because they command it. They don't over-explain. They don't ask for sympathy. They don't broadcast what they're going through. They use every setback as fuel, every insult as fire, every doubt as data. This is why they win. They spend less time proving and more time preparing. Less time performing and more time planning. They play the long game, the deep game, the silent game. They don't move like everyone else because they're not trying to be like everyone else. Their goals aren't normal, so their methods aren't either. They disappear when it's time to work, and they appear only when it's time to dominate. They don't care. If you notice, they care that you never forget the quiet ones. They are not sleeping, they are sharpening. Not weak, they are waiting. Not lost, they are aligning. Not done, they are just getting started. So if you're one of them misunderstood, the calm, the patient, the silent, know this: your time is coming, and when it does, it won't be loud. It'll be legendary. In money, silence is leverage. Wealth whispers because it doesn't need to prove anything. The one who flashes cash is playing defense. The one who invests in silence is building an empire, while others show off the lifestyle. The quiet ones build the systems that fund it for every day. Don't announce their income, they move like they have less. They buy freedom, not attention. They talk less and compound more because they know that real wealth isn't in what you say. It's in what you own, what you control, what you can walk away from. Financial silence isn't secrecy, it's strategy, because the world wants you broke, loud, and distracted, but you are the anomaly, quiet, disciplined, unseen. And when you finally move financially, it won't be a flex, it'll be a shift, empowering. Dating silence is magnetism, neediness, talks, confidence, listens. People are drawn to mystery, and mystery is created by not giving too much too soon. The quiet one doesn't chase, they attract. They don't over-explain their feelings, they show them through presence. They aren't easily read, and that unreadability creates tension, intrigue, value, while others flood the maze with desperate validation. The quiet one says more with less. One glance, one pause, one moment of undivided attention speaks louder than 100 compliments. In love, they are selective, not cold. They're not withholding. To play games, they're withholding. To protect their standard, they don't beg to be seen. They make themselves unforgettable, not through noise, but through presence. In leadership, silence is command. The loud leader seeks validation. The quiet one commands with presence. When they walk in a room, the tone shifts because silence isn't just personal power, it's social gravity. The quiet leader doesn't interrupt, they listen, and in that listening, they gain insight, and with that insight, they move decisively. They aren't emotional, they are surgical. They don't micromanage, they set the standard. And in setting it, everyone else rises or falls. Their words are rare, which is why they hit harder. Their silence is respected, which is why their team performs with loyalty, not fear. They don't just lead through words, they lead through weight. And when they do speak, everyone knows it matters. This is silence as strength in every domain. Money, dating, leadership, power is always quiet, but its results are deafening. In the spiritual world, silence is not strategy, it is transformation. It is the art of hearing your own soul in a world that never stops speaking. The quiet ones are not just disciplined in action, they are anchored in something deeper. They hear what others can't because they are willing to sit in stillness long enough to remember who they are. They are not distracted, they are devoted. They don't rush into answers, they wait until truth appears. Spiritual silence is the posture of the wise, not because they have nothing to say, but because they know most things are not worth saying. They don't shout their journey, they walk it in peace. They are led by intuition, not impulse. By clarity, not chaos. By depth, not noise. While the world scrambles to be heard, they are learning to listen to themselves, to life, to the patterns few ever noticed. They pray quietly, they heal privately, they grow consistently, because real growth happens in the unseen, and real connection requires no announcement. They don't need to scream about their healing. They just stop bleeding on people who didn't hurt them. They don't need to prove they've changed. They live it. Their silence is sacred. It is how they preserve their energy, how they protect their peace, how they rise without noise. This is the highest level of silence, not for strategy, but for soul. Not to conquer the world, but to master the self. And in mastering the self, the quiet ones leave something behind, not noise, not fame, but legacy. They do not chase trends, they build foundations. While the world shouts for attention, they build something worth remembering. Legacy is not built in the spotlight. It is built in silence in the mornings. No one sees in the discipline, no one claps. For in the consistency that doesn't get credit, quiet ones are not chasing virality, they're building longevity. They don't care if the world notices today. They care that it cannot forget tomorrow. They think 10 years ahead, while others think 10 likes ahead. They're planting trees whose shade they may never sit in, but they know someone will, and that's enough. Legacy is not what you leave when you die. It's what you build while you live, the habits you honor, the values you embody, the pain you transform into purpose. The quiet ones leave behind systems, principles, proof, not just stories, but structure, not just quotes, but character. They become the reason generations think deeper, move slower, build stronger. They are not remembered for how loud they were, but for how unshakable they became. They live like whispers, but echo for eternity, because what is done in silence outlasts what is screamed. In noise, the loud ones get applause, the quiet ones get remembered. This is not just about power, this is about permanence. Not just about control, but contribution. Not just presence, but imprint. And that is why the quiet ones always win. If this message spoke to something inside you, if it reminded you that strength doesn't have to shout, then you already know what to do. You don't need to comment, you don't need to explain, you just need to keep building in silence and let the results speak for themselves. This is inner motion, where your transformation is forged in discipline, where your legacy is built in shadows, where your silence becomes your weapon. Say less, win more, and when they ask how you did it, let them study the silence you left behind. If you're walking this path too, if you feel the shift within, subscribe to Inner Motion and share this with someone who moves like you. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more of us, silent, focused, relentless.